Right, hello everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday news and notes video here on the Fed League Flash. I, of course, am Gary Ryan here with you, and we're reviewing a couple of things that have taken place over the last few days. Some of the some of the newsworthy items. Of course, the big news was yesterday. The PD IceCats announced that they have chosen their new head coach, Gary Graham. Now, that name is probably familiar to quite a few of you who have followed single A hockey for quite some time. The last 2 years, previous two seasons, he was the head coach in Pensacola with the Flyers of the SPHL. He's been coaching, though, since 2008. So he's got a good amount of experience and on several different levels. Started off in juniors, quickly became an assistant coach in the old International Hockey League, wins a championship his first year, wins a championship the following year. As he joined Fort Wayne, he was with the Indiana Ice before that. So he joins Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne jumps from the IHL, which ceased to exist, goes to the Central Hockey League, wins a championship there. Then he leaves the Fort Wayne Comets, become a head coach for the first time in Pensacola, wins a championship, and then he joined Fort Wayne as a head coach, as Fort Wayne was now a member of the ECHL, so this is AA hockey. He was there for 9 years in Fort Wayne altogether. Also had 3 years in Pensacola altogether. He had a year in Nottingham in the Elite Ice Hockey League, which is over in England. Go Glasgow Clan. So he's been around, and he's done very, very well. And so obviously Parker Moscow and the staff are banking on him getting off to a hot start once again. The other big news for PD is they announced that Scott Brand is joining the franchise as the GM. That is huge. That is an excellent hire, of course. And so that's a very important position to fill. Over the last few days on Facebook, PD also announced a couple other people that are working in the front office with sales and whatnot. So they are getting their staff compiled and put together. That's not a fly-by-night organization. They're going to be very well structured. So that happened with the PD IceCats. Also, they introduced Nicholas Miguel Diaz, defenseman, who they signed, I guess it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday last week. He signed. On Friday, they also signed Austin Mellon, who some of you might remember played for the then Mississippi Seawolves for a few games a couple of years ago. He's back in the Fed. PD Icemen have signed 3 goalies to PTOs, so they are looking for a good goalie competition in camp. And they've got 3 people signed already. They also signed Chris Kerr, who comes from the University of Dubuque, and Matt Sales, who comes from Nazareth College. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see who ends up winning the spot for the goaltender for opening night. So, there we go. So, it was a good press conference, very brief, kind of hard to hear with the echo, at least on Facebook. I'm sure if you were there in person, you heard everything fine. But yeah, it was kind of tough to pick up on Facebook. So thank you, Mackie, for just verifying everything with me. I appreciate that. All right. So the Blue Ridge Bobcats, they made some news twice in the last 2 days. They have decided to come up with a couple different affiliation agreements. The first one they came up with was last week, Thursday. They announced that they were going to have an agreement with the Toronto Junior Flyers of the GMHL, the Greater Metro Hockey League. That is Junior A up in Toronto and its suburbs. It's not high A, it's kind of like low A juniors, but some very, that's a good place for players to go um, get some physical tune-ups going if they need to do that, or just get a few games in, get in the game shape. So GMHL has really served well in that capacity for a lot of players. And the nice thing about the league is you don't have to be under a certain age to play. It's juniors, but you can be over age. So also they signed an affiliation agreement with the Iron City Forge of the American Premier Hockey League, which is Senior A, players who have aged out. And of course, they have 8 or 9 teams this next year. I've got to go back and check. I think it's 9 franchises now in the APHL. They're primarily in the northeast, and the north central part of the United States. And so, anyway, yeah, Bobcats got on board with that. Kind of seems to be a little bit of a trend, signing affiliation agreements with lower level clubs. Chance to discover some new talent. The Bobcats also signed Nick Stuckless. He's returning. So Stuckless last year, have this written down, 13 goals, 25 points in 46 games in his first pro season. Started off the year in Binghamton and wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time there, so he was traded to Blue Ridge. Fit in very nicely into the Bobcats lineup. And so, yeah, he is planning on coming back. So that is good news for Bobcats fans. Indiana, they also signed an affiliation agreement with the Northern Michigan Warhounds. People are going, where is that? Last year, they were known as, well, the team that played in the location there was the Kalkaska Battlers. Um, because of a lot of problems between the franchise and the uh, the arena management. The Battlers were not going to be coming back, so this is a new organization, rebranded. Anyway, Northern Michigan Warhounds. They play in Kalkaska, Michigan, in the APHL, and they are now the affiliate of the Indiana Sentinels. So there you go. Carolina, they started work. Well, not the team, but the city, the county got together, and they have funds set aside to get some much needed repairs done to the fairgrounds arena. New boards are going in. The ice is going to be replaced, and I don't know if that means also that the ice plant might be upgraded a little bit, but good things. That's very good. I'm not sure if there's going to be any money left over for anything else with upgrades or repairs, but nonetheless, you got some money getting poured into the fairgrounds arena. So that is a very good thing. There were several other players that were signed by different teams, the PTOs. All signings right now are PTOs. And it's not a tryout agreement. What it is basically you are signing to say, I agree, this team holds my rights, and I plan to come to camp and earn a job. once the final cuts are made from the summer roster to the regular season roster, players will sign standard player contracts. But for right now, it's all PTOs. Several players coming out of college or from overseas. But I did want to mention a couple of players that people might recognize from this past season. Austin Federley, he is coming back as the captain once again of the Port Huron Prowlers. This will be his 9th season in the. No, I'm sorry, I gotta correct myself. This is going to be his 10th season. Prowlers are heading into her 11th year, and the only season that Federley was not part of the Prowlers was the initial year. He has 315 games played, 238 points total, 86 goals. Last year, career high 53 points in 55 games. Federley is also known as a clutch guy in the shootout, so Prowler is very glad to have him back. The Watertown Wolves, they had picked up Mac Diver from Motor City in the dispersal draft. I guess, yeah, as the two parties communicated, it was decided this wasn't going to work out for one reason or another. So the Wolves released Mac Diver, so he is free to sign with another club if he wishes. Um, so that took place. Um, just again, a name that I know a lot will ring a bell with a lot of people, especially Rockers fans. So there we go. That wraps up our news segment for today. Not very long today. Um, and like I said, a lot of things besides this happened. This is just the kind of the major stuff that went on. Always make sure you're following me on Facebook. I post the news, um, transaction signings, all that kind of stuff on Facebook. So always keep an eye on that. Also, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube, also to the Flash Audio Network. For that, the links are on the top of my Facebook page. So you can avail yourself to that. Of course, Flash Audio Network, we are on every Thursday. Tomorrow will be Hockey 101, and we'll be talking about stick infractions. Again, this is kind of for newer fans or beginning fans, kind of trying to figure out what is this game of hockey, getting familiar with it. So, stick infractions tomorrow. We'll be talking about that. All right, I am Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure, again, you're hitting like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell a friend, bribe them, whatever. All right, I am Gary Ryan. Thank you so much. We'll catch you tomorrow for Hockey 101.